Auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. As Jake Mangum likes to tell us, go with the home team. By the way, Jackson, I ordered a Tampa Bay Rays hat over the weekend. Because why not? Hey, Brent Rooker made another All-Star team. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Mangum went yard, and Rook went yard, same game.
Yeah, but we talked about that. He did it inside the park.
Yeah, we were off. I think that happened like Thursday afternoon.
I'll have to go back and look. All right, we are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Hugh Freeze's number one fan. Roll Tide, Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Are you doing this live from the Floribama?
No. I'm doing it live from Kiva Dunes is where I'm at. I'm overlooking a golf course. I'm looking to see if maybe Hugh Hefner could be here because I don't know if you've been reading, but he's had a big golf month of June, and I think I would expect that would continue. You just never know where Hugh Freeze may be. I mean, I'm in a golf course, and I'm just, I'm doing my job. I hope I can be able to plead this to the IRS to write this off on my taxes because I'm literally overlooking the 18th hole at Kiva Dunes right now. I mean, I can overlook. So I'm watching for Hugh Hefner Freeze to play some more golf because he can't recruit. I mean, right now, currently at 86, I want to take a minute to congratulate the Tigers because they're in front of, let's see, Idaho. That's a big move. San Jose State, that's a good one. They're in front of Northern Illinois. They're dead last in the SEC, and it's not even close. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's crazy. But he is playing golf, and he's really good. I didn't realize that Hugh should have been a golfer. I mean,
he's a scratch golfer.
And yeah, well, and now listen, I'm not an expert on golf. Mm-hmm. But I know if you're going to consistently play in the 70s, you're probably playing quite a bit, right? You can't just go out there and go, yeah, let's go play once a month. And, yeah, I got a 75. No problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So Auburn fans are a little bit upset. And why not? Why not? I mean, currently 7 commitments, but, 90th in recruiting in one, 86 in the other. They're up to 84. They're up to 84 currently and on 3. So just wanted to make sure I highlight that as a, authentic journalist that I am.
Ryan Fowler, Tuscaloosa Sports Talk Radio Afternoon Drive, joins us on the Out of Bounds Show. According to 247 Sports, Auburn is 86th in the country, but they are within striking distance of Texas State, Tulsa, and East Carolina,
Idaho,
and Temple. So, all it takes is one commit, and they can probably jump at least 15 spots, maybe.
Well, and did you see your guy, Lane Kiffin? I got to talk to Ole Miss people. You guys have got a master over there. I mean, the troll job that he put up last night, great job, Coach. Game is on fire. And he retweeted a tweet that was from 5/19 of 2025. He retweeted Hugh Hefner Freeze on a Ryder Cup, some golf match or whatever. And Lane goes out, grabs the photo, retweets it, says, "Great job, Coach. Game is on fire." So in other words, even Lane Kiffin is picking up on what is happening here with Hugh and played a lot of golf, but. I tried to tell Ole Miss people. Remember, I came on your show like 2017, 2016, and I called him a snake oil salesman. You remember that?
I do.
And Ole Miss fans trash me. Now you guys are loving on me, telling me I'm accurate on that. I just appreciate all the love from those Ole Miss fans. Thank you so much.
Well, they love you.
I know they do. That's what I'm saying. We're now on the same page. And I like Lane. Lane's good.
Yeah.
Good coach.
And y'all don't
But
have
you
to
guys
play this year.
deserve more. Yeah, and you deserve more than Hugh Freeze, and you got more, and that's good. It worked out for you.
It worked out. So there we go. Oh man, let's see.
Wow, what am I drinking?
All right, Ryan Fowler, 109 the game, Tuscaloosa. So he knocked down back-to-back top 10 classes his first 2 years. What do you think's going on?
I think there's a couple things with Auburn. Okay, you have to understand, living in little, big brother's shadow, being little brother. I think you get that wiggle room. I think a lot of teams give you a lot of wiggle room. I think they give you a lot of love. Our media in this state, they pretend like if you go to Birmingham TV or some of the other statewide media journalists, they split it like 50-50 coverage. I mean, literally 50-50. And it's no more 50-50 than it's probably closer to 75-25. So they give this wiggle room to Auburn. I think Auburn's in a little bit of an issue because they've always bought their way out of trouble, right? Go back to Cam Newton. Alabama had just won a national title. They needed a rebuttal, right? They needed to find something to counter the success of Coach Saban. What did they do? They went out and stole Cam Newton from Mississippi State.
From Dan Mullen.
Listen, from Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
So Auburn has always bought their way out of trouble. You got to remember, this program has been investigated more. I think it may be Oklahoma that's got them by one, but I think it may be the most all time. You have to go back and look that up. I mean, listen, we're talking everything from tennis has been on probation. So this team, and then you go hire, Hugh Freeze, who also has issues. It's just it's a winning combination. But I don't think Auburn can buy their way out of trouble anymore. You can't just go out here and go, guys, let me call the guy that makes lumber, and we'll get a couple of million, and we're going to buy our way out of the gutter. Auburn, you got to remember, they've lost 5 in a row to Alabama. They've had their 4th losing season. And poor old Hugh Hefner the other day was asked about the bowl practice. So, what would be success? And he said, well, we just got to make a bowl. I mean, 6-6 teams make a bowl. And you start asking,
Woo.
What's embarrassing is Kalen DeBoer has stepped in, and in year number 2, building this type of momentum. Yeah, he won 9 games, which is a failure in Tuscaloosa, and they call it that, so you might as well. And then you're seeing, because you could build a program very quickly, and they've done good in the portal. You got to give them that. They went to upgrades, but it better pay off in win total. And if you start looking at that schedule is not very favorable. I mean, there's some L's. And who knows? It may find its way to Baylor, opening up on the road. And you're going
Sawyer
to
Robertson, baby.
Jackson.
That's their quarterback.
Yeah.
At Baylor.
So Jackson Arnold.
He was at Mississippi State.
Jackson Arnold. Okay. So Jackson Arnold didn't spend a lot of time covering Mississippi State, but I did miss you guys last year.
I don't blame you. There wasn't
being
anything to cover. Yeah.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about just being able to play you guys. But Auburn, according right now to the experts, if you look at the win total, about 7.5. I think Circa just put it at 8, which is the highest I've seen. I don't know if they can win 8 games. Look at that schedule.
I'm looking at it right now. They can win 8 games. Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama, dubs. At Oklahoma, winnable. At A&M, winnable. Georgia at home, I don't know if they'll bounce back or not. Georgia wasn't that good last year. Missouri at home, win. At Arkansas, very winnable. Kentucky at home, win. At Vandy. Can he get – Diego Pavia's beat him 3 years in a row. Of course, you know about the Diego Pavia thing because he beat y'all last year. Mercer at home, dub. Alabama at home, toss-up. I think they can go 8-4. They may be better than that, Fowler.
But keep in mind, and we had a guy on from ProFootballFocus.com, Max Chadwick, who said that they could be a dark horse playoff team. Oh man, he did. He said it, and he explained why. There is some talent. but I think if this is a failure right now, there's something going on. Whether it's Hugh Freeze's health, and God love him, I hope all that stuff, is fine. But somewhere recruiting, and really they came out. I'm not sure if you saw this the other day, but Hugh Freeze, they did the first ambush tour. And this is the issue. I mean, the hardest job in the state of Alabama is the ticket salesperson at Auburn, because you got to be able to sell this. You got to be able to, go out and say, hey, keep sending me money, keep sending me NIL money, keep sending me this. So they did an ambush tour. The first one was in Columbus, Georgia. Now, they're going to tell you the first one was in Lake Martin, but the first one was about 3 weeks ago in Columbus, Georgia, and it was so bad of a turnout, they just canceled it. Literally, like the day or 2 days before.
Are you being serious?
No, look, but you can't find that because you can't find media over there that cover the genuine stuff. So they canceled the one in Columbus, Georgia. They did do the one last week at Lake Martin, which, by the way, that must be a cult too, because you ever notice all the coaches never leave Auburn? Like Gus tweeting out photos over the weekend of Lake Martin. What? Really? I mean, do they never leave this place? You got Chiswick, Tuberville, Gus still has a place there. Thank God Brian Harsin was smart enough to get out of town. Pat Dye, until the day he died, he lived right there. I mean, could you imagine Tuscaloosa with Fran, Pappy Price, Mike Shula, Mike DeBose, just all living in the same city? But so they did do this big ambush tour over at Lake Martin.
Okay.
And he went out and spoke, and he pretty much just blamed everybody because he took the loss on the recruiting. And he said, well, we're doing everything right. There's a lot of people in the recruiting front that's not doing it with integrity. So he didn't just take shots at Alabama. He didn't say Alabama. We all knew what he meant, but he just pretty much said, we're showing integrity. We're doing it the right way. A lot of other people are doing it the wrong way. So Georgia.
Who do you
Texas
think he was? Who when he said
it was
others
Alabama.
are operating in a different manner? Who do you think he was talking about?
I mean, I assume it's Alabama. I mean, and there was a local columnist in Birmingham that just said, call it out. I mean, you got evidence, call it out. And so, I mean, listen, it's been a viral, crazy thing over here. It went viral. They went and grabbed remember Hugh Freeze telling everybody to email the Ole Miss compliance if you had facts about
absolutely.
It was the same speech that they gave then. They just gave it now, from an Auburn perspective. You could have just said, "Oh,
that's delicious."
It was blaming everybody else for their issues, and then John Cohen, by the way, he stood up, he said a few things, and he kept talking about August the 1st. He kept talking about, well, the official day that you could offer money for revenue share is August the 1st. So he didn't just throw, the SEC. He pretty much just said Auburn's the only one doing it right or in big time college football. So that's why they're so far behind. It has nothing to do with getting your head kicked in, 4 losing seasons. The Rats they've had 4 decommitments in about a week's time, and major players. You just had a decommitment, a 4-star wide receiver who decommitted and went to Kentucky.
Really? They don't even believe in scoring points.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, but like I said, I would be worried about these guys that are still committed. I'd be worried about academics. I mean, if you can't, because something is going on that everybody else sees that these 7 commitments cannot see.
Huh. All right. 109
Roll
the
Tide.
game. Tuscaloosa, Roll Tide, Ryan Fowler joining us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line again. Hugh Freeze's biggest fan. And all right, what about Alabama Crimson Tide? Y'all had a bad year y'all let Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt dominate you. Now that Ryan Grubb is back and actually going to stay, and I guess you're going to roll with Ty Simpson for a while or maybe the whole time, and I give him credit. He's hung around, and I think he's been there 8 years. Are you confident you have a college football playoff caliber team?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is a deep playoff team. I don't know if it's fair, even for a program like Alabama, where you say it's national championship or bust. Now, that's my comments, trying to convince the Alabama fans to accept that. I feel like I'm climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops because I'm trying to convince them that a national title or bust is not the way to look at the college football landscape. And I don't think it's fair for anybody. I don't think it's fair for Ohio State. I don't think it's fair for Georgia. I think the new barometer for these blue bloods is if you can go to the semifinals. If you can be one of the last four teams standing, maybe you can win an SEC title. Maybe if you're Ohio State, go win a conference title. But I don't know if, to me, the standard can be national title. Anything less than that's a failure. But these Alabama fans, I can't convince them. I mean, I've tried.
Y'all are so whacked out. I mean, 60% of your fan base can't name a building on campus. But it's rabid. Look, if he goes to the college football playoff and wins a game or two, I think people will settle down. If he doesn't, year 3 will be lot of pressure for the Crimson Tide. Do you think Ty Simpson's going to take this job? The quarterback that's been there forever. Yeah. Is he a redshirt junior?
He is. He will be. Redshirt junior. Really been very patient. I think he fits the DeBoer offense a lot better than Jalen Milroe. I think when you look at the wide receivers, that's where they've upgraded the most. Ron Williams, a year older. Jeremy Bernard decided to come back, did not go to the NFL, did not test that water. Seems to be a guy that, could be a middle, NFL type guy, just precise running in the routes. But watch the name Isaiah Horton. Isaiah Horton's a transfer in from Miami. Super. And really, if you go back, he played with Ty Simpson on 7-on-7 in the state of Tennessee. So these guys already have a connection. Know the game, know the name, Latsir Brooks and Derek Meadows. Derek Meadows is the player that flipped either the signing day or the day before from LSU to Alabama. Bishop Gorman High School is a big wide receiver, and he made a big impact in the spring. They're going to be as deep. You remember when Alabama had the 2020, even a couple of years prior to that, they had that big group of wide receivers that were just off the charts. That's what this group kind of reminds me of. That they're just, you got guys like Rico Scott. Will Jalen Hale make a comeback? I don't know, but you're deep enough. Like Cole Adams is a pass catching wide receiver. He may not be able to beat you with his speed, but he's just sure hands. So you start looking at these wide receivers. I mean, I think they're probably 6 or 7 deep. I think they're probably one of the best wide receiver rooms in the country. I think Pro Football Focus has got them 3rd or maybe a 2nd. But look at the wide receiver room. You put that with Ty Simpson, and I think you're going to be better at the offensive line than what you were last year. Matter of fact, ProFootballFocus.com says you're going to be the best offensive line in the country. They've got them at number 1. And I know those are your guys, Pro Football Focus guys. So anyway, I think Alabama's going to be a team that's going to make a run. I think they'll have a chance. I mean, I don't think there's a dominant team out there, which probably helps you a little bit.
No, I don't think there is either, man. I think you make a good point. I don't see, again, and it's been like this since COVID. Yeah, I don't see a dominant team out there. I guess Georgia had one, but they've kind of fallen off, and I know you're excited about that. But y'all play at Georgia, so you'll be an underdog there. That may be the only time you're an underdog, my man.
Yeah, I think I read it was early line was around 4 points. So you get 3 at home. So really on paper, and I don't know what Gunnar Stockton. I could be sold on him, but I could also be a non-buyer as well. So when you look at the Dogs, he has a lot of the same questions that I have around Nick Saban coaching in this era, because Kirby Smart coaches hard. I mean, he's a tough son of a gun. I don't know if you can coach the way that him and Coach Saban coached in this current era of college football. You got too many feelings, too many transfer portals. I mean, I
love it.
I just don't know if Georgia, can, if his style, because we had Coach Pete Jenkins on the other day.
Uh-oh.
And he said he pleaded with Kirby, and he said, do not change your style. He said, I'm not going to. But I just don't know if you can. Sit down and talk with a couple of coaches off record. See if you could tell. Because you can't coach them hard.
Yeah,
There's
you
too many
can.
options, man.
I mean, there's some that are, going to do their thing and transfer if a coach takes a bite out of their ass. But there's plenty of kids that you can also coach really, really, and that want to be coached really hard. So who's your favorite? Is Sark, in Texas, the favorite for you in the SEC? They are me. I have Texas as the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I think Texas on paper. We'll see if Arch Manning can live up to something the Mannings have never done, and that's winning a national title. So, wow. Can Arch Manning take them to a level? Yeah, I have Steve Spurrier question a couple of weeks ago. I think it's fair to say that. I mean,
we played that audio.
This guy's the Heisman favorite. I mean, has there ever been a non-starter coming into the season that was a Heisman favorite?
Boy, that's a good question.
Think about that.
Because I've got DJ Lagway as the number one quarterback in the SEC. Diego Pavi is up there. Nussmeier's up there. Arch is up there. Lenore Sellers from South Carolina has. Oh, y'all play them at South Carolina, my man. October 25th.
Yeah, those are the two games that you could toss up. But hey, listen, let me get a plug in for your big casino up at Silver Star, Pearl River, Golden Moon, right? The sports book, right?
Yeah.
I want you to go there. Okay, I mean, all these Alabama fans, you get Alabama at about a plus 1,500 to sometimes it's a little bit lower, 1,200 to 1,500. Go and lay it on the Tide to win it all.
Boom. Lay it on Roll Tide. Hey, Roll Tide, buddy, I love you. Thanks for jumping on. Are you going to Atlanta next week?
I will be. Hanging out with Hugh Hefner.
All right, you're buying me a steak dinner. See ya.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m., and this ain't no kiddie show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
All aboard!
As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. What happened here? Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Happy 4th. Hope you had a good one. Red, white, and blue. Plenty of mayonnaise, loaded with mayonnaise, potato salad, which Jackson Meadows loaded up with, and baked beans. I think I did set a record for ribs, though, as far as how many I ate over 4 days, considering my friend cooked them. My mom cooked them, but the kids went through that. I had enough from Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. It's an underrated item on the B3 menu. Mm-hmm. You think burgers, great. You think blue plates, can't go wrong. You think Dirty Bird wrap. That's fried. You can get grilled, but I recommend the fried chicken and the Dirty Bird wrap.
I never knew that blues stood for blue plate.
Yeah.
I thought it was just blues, like the blues.
B3, baby.
I just realized that.
Well, Steven, is it? No, it's for blues music.
Okay, I thought you were saying like it was for
blue
plate.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. No. Steven is a big...
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Loves music.
Right.
The reason why you see the cool, like we have a cool guitar on the side of our wall, plus we have a Tito's guitar over here.
Right.
But signed by Tito, by the way, Tito Beverage.
Tito.
That's actually his name. Anyway, back to B3. Yeah, no, it's Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. If you remember, the first one he ever opened on County Line was very music driven with huge patio. Covered patio.
Love that patio.
Yeah. So, but they do have blue plates was my point. My point in all this was the ribs at B3 are underrated. Mm-hmm. All right. They were great. Look, when Wendy will grab a rib and eat it, it's like when we went, she had been several times, but when we go to Two Brothers in Starkville, Wendy is not one to order wings.
Right.
I mean, she'll get a taco or something like that. I ordered, this was a couple years ago, I ordered some wings. She grabbed one and she ate it. She went, that's amazing. So there's just certain things that if you can get, someone like that to go, wow.
Right.
I mean, you and I love wings.
Yeah,
we love ribs. We love steaks. We love, brisket and so on. But my point in all that was it was a really good weekend and I had a bunch of ribs. And I'm happy about it.
How many you think you had here? What are we talking?
Oh.
Did you outdo yourself? Like, did you think you were going to put up these kind of numbers, or did you, just happen?
I didn't really think. So throughout the weekend, you're going in and out of the house, back down to the lake,
right,
back in the water, or back on the boat. But I would just come in and grab a rib.
Snack rib.
Yeah.
Killed you. Well, one adds up.
One morning, and it all runs together when you have a 4-day weekend, which I was very glad we did because you and I are about to get into football mode. Mm-hmm. And one morning, I don't remember. I went and did the walk, came back. Let's just say it's 10:45, 11 a.m. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I've been up since 6. And I poured a Key City, Mississippi Queen.
Okay.
And grabbed a rib.
Good start.
Out of the fridge.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Cold rib.
Yeah.
Love them cold.
I mean, a lot of them that I ate over the weekend were warmed up.
Sure, yeah.
In the oven and or with Scott, he cooked them on the green egg. And so we got them right, there. So, But, yeah, it was a good weekend. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Speaking of, I'm confident it's National Dive Bar Day. Got to be some dive bars that cook ribs.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was I can't remember the show. I can't remember the name of it, but I will here in just a second. But speaking of rib, I always talk about a Tito's Vodka Bloody Mary late in the morning with the cold rib. It's fabulous on a summer weekend or a football weekend. Do you remember the Kevin Spacey House of Cards?
Yes.
Okay. Kevin Spacey, I know he got called up in
Right.
this, but he is and I don't know what happened and
Sure.
did or didn't happen,
Sure.
whatever.
Wonderful actor.
He is he's one of my favorite, phenomenal actor, and he was incredible in that series, House of Cards. It's probably my favorite out of all.
I remember when you watched it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
He would go to because this is how the movie set it up. He was a congressman from South Carolina, so he knew Southern food.
Sure.
And there was a guy in Washington, D.C. that owned a total hole in the wall that cooked ribs. And Kevin Spacey, who was Frank Underwood in the show, would go and eat there in the morning. And I love ribs in the morning.
Oh, that's a good
There's
move, yeah.
something about on the weekends, 10 a.m., hammering 3 ribs.
Well, it gives you that boost and that power you need to get through that day.
That's right. That boost and that power.
Because you may not get your lunch could come at 12. It could come at 3.
That's right. Speaking of dive bars, what's your favorite dive bar food? So when I think about dive bars, I think about like a roast beef sandwich with some unbelievable gravy. I think about onion rings. I think about fried pickles.
Yeah.
Obviously a good cheat. If you're going to have a cheeseburger and be at a dive bar and be considered a good dive bar, like the Keg
Right.
in Orange Beach, and I haven't been in a while, and now that's a dive bar because you can't see a damn thing in there. I mean, it's dark. It looks like people, they could have bodies buried in the back, that type deal.
Yeah.
That's not a dive bar at night either because I don't know if they still do that, but years ago, we went like at midnight and there were, again, a bunch of bachelorette parties, and this was 23 years ago. And the whole place was packed and people were partying. But if you just dive in there at no pun intended, at 1 or 2 in the afternoon for a cold beer, ice cold Bud Light, and a burger,
Very dive.
it's a dive bar.
Okay.
I'm surprised it didn't come up. Well, you can't get everything.
Nah.
There's too many of them out there. Surf bar in Folly Beach. Best dive bar I've ever been to.
I really don't know how you don't consider Red Bar a dive bar.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
It's just not. I don't get hot and bothered about it.
I'm with that.
I have people that I know that love it, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
Burn it down.
But I'm not. I mean, I'd just as soon go to Shunk Gullies.
Yeah.
And get a blackened fish sandwich and a cold Bud Light and be good. Speaking of, the Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776, 601-885-3776, Twitter X, @BoBounds, and the Bud Light caller line is 601-707-3750. Let's talk SEC quarterbacks. And who would you have as your number one pick if you could pick any of them for the 2025 season? Who would you pick as your quarterback for the 2025 season if you had to pick between Southeastern Conference QBs? I'll give you mine on the other side. Right, SEC quarterbacks, ranking the SEC quarterbacks here as our summer celebration continues. Brought to you by Juniker Jewelry Store, Highland Colony in Madison. If you're looking for an engagement ring and you want to be that 5-star guy, Juniker. You're looking for a ring, bracelet, necklace, earrings. Juniker Jewelry Store. Right here on Highland Colony. It's about a mile from us. Maybe a mile and change, but I don't think it's 2 miles. Because we can cut through the back way right by the men's clinic in Madison where Dr. Mike Manning is and be there. But if you're looking for something special, Juniker Jewelry Store in Madison. Juniker. Earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and, of course, engagement rings, all powered by Juniker Jewelry Store. My number one quarterback would be DJ Lagway. Number 2, I'm going with Diego Pavia. Number 3, Lenora Sellers. Number 4, Nussmeier. And number 5, Arch Manning. So that's what I'm looking at right there. Lagway, Pavia, Lenoris, Nussmeier, Arch Manning. There could be some others. People love John Mateer, who Brent Venables brought in from Washington State. He's now at Oklahoma. Lane Kiffin and Joe Judge are telling people, and they know quarterbacks, that Austin Simmons is a future star and first-round pick. Lane finally got his first-round pick, Jackson Dart, to the New York Giants. Let's see. Taylon Green from Arkansas is better than people think. He's a big kid. When healthy, he can really hurt you. We'll see what Bobby Petrino can do with Taylon Green from Boise State. He played last year for Arkansas. They actually beat Tennessee at home.
They did.
Probably saved Sam Pittman's job, but I know athletic directors are not looking to pay any kind of major buyouts right now because they're trying to figure out how to fund almost $21 million worth of, portal payments, or NIL, if you want to call it that, with a heavy chunk of that going to football. Joey Aguilar, I don't know a lot about him. If you remember, Nico and Joey switched.
Right.
And Nico went to UCLA.
Yep.
And Joey went to Knoxville. What was that, 5th game of the season?
They beat each other.
5th game of the season, Mississippi State hosts Tennessee. And Mississippi State has to start 4-0. At Southern Miss, Arizona State at home, I don't think they're that good. It's a good story, and they've done a good job considering who they are. They didn't look physically imposing. They didn't really look that impressive. Scattaboo, ran all over you. Sam Levitt really didn't have to do anything that night, although he's a good player. And then you had a scoop and score that Arizona State got, and that was kind of the ball game. You were totally dysfunctional on both offense and defense.
So what are you saying? That's a winnable ball game for Mississippi State?
Absolutely. And if it's not, you better be asking some really tough questions. So let me go through it again. At Southern Miss, you got to win that game. You can't get upset. Arizona State at home, got to win that game, and it's at home. Alcorn State, win. Northern Illinois should be a win. So you got to start off 4-0. And then you host Tennessee with a new QB. They're better than you, but there's upsets every weekend in college football. There's upsets. So you got to find a way to get a win. Maybe Joey Aguilar, Luganville said his good is really good, but he can also fall apart. That's what he told me over the weekend.
Okay. So you got to get to him.
He hadn't played that. I mean, you
don't have that much on him, right?
Yeah, I think he could. He played at UCLA.
Meh. What do they play?
They were in the Big Ten. I'd have to go back and look. All right, back to SEC quarterbacks. I've got DJ Lagway 1. I think he's incredible. Diego Pavia 2, just his game and what he's able to do at Vanderbilt, and he can run it and throw it. Lenora Sellers, South Carolina. Needs to stay healthy. I think he's got all the tools. Nussmeier, it was just his first year to start. I think he's going to be awesome. And LSU is loaded at wide receiver. Auburn's loaded at wide receiver. LSU's loaded at wide receiver. We'll see. And then I guess Arch. But wow. I could be talked into any number of guys after that.
You're supposed to have Arch number 1, man.
Well,
they don't like that.
Do I think he's going to have an awesome year? Yes. That doesn't mean that these guys aren't either.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, in fact, I think, man, you got some quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Lagway, Pavia, Sellers, Nussmeier, Arch.
Nussmeier's world, baby.
But I mentioned Taylon Green.
Is he the surprise of the year?
Well, could it be
all?
Taylon Green could be the surprise of the year.
Okay.
John Mateer at Oklahoma. Austin Simmons at Ole Miss.
Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold could be under Freeze.
Yeah.
Freeze has proven that he can run offenses everywhere. Ole Miss, Liberty, Arkansas State. They've been in a little bit of a funk at Auburn, which has been really weird that he missed on Peyton Thorne. Because he got it right with Bo Wallace and Chad Kelly.
More odd that he dug his heels into that.
Malik Willis and others. Auburn with that wide receiver group could really hurt some people's feelings. Yeah. And if you remember, I don't know how this happened, but Oklahoma did their top 5 receivers last year.
Never played.
I mean, and it may have gotten to 6, but it was something. It was
6.
Wild that they all went down. I can't remember when, if it was all in August or some of it was late spring and summer, but they didn't have them. And so they fired their offensive coordinator, then fired their other offensive coordinator that they named after the other one.
Fire them all.
And now they brought in Washington State's OC with Mateer, I think, at Auburn. Look, they should. Sawyer Robertson's at Baylor. Mike Leach signed him several years ago. Auburn should go over there and dominate.
Auburn should be a 10-win ball team.
Beat Ball State, beat South Alabama, have a chance to go to Oklahoma and win. At A&M, have a chance there. Georgia at home absolutely has a chance there. Missouri at home should win. At Arkansas, that can get funky when you get up there. I don't care who you are. Ask Tennessee, ask Ole Miss, some other teams. But you should be slightly favored. Kentucky at home, yes. At Vanderbilt, yes. But Diego Pavia has on Hugh Freeze. Mercer at home, yes. And then Bama's a toss-up. My point in all this is I don't see a game where I say you can't win it for Auburn. Yeah.
8-4 should be easy.
So let me tell me who you like. What is your number 1 QB, or who's your top 5 in the SEC? The Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. SEC quarterback discussion brought to you by the Armory on Lake Harbor in Ridgeland in front of Kroger. For all your firearms, optics, and suppressors. The Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. The Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland in front of Kroger. Boom. All right. Want to say good morning. Welcome in the Out of Bounds Show. Lunch today brought to you by the Shrimp Po' Boy at Martin's in Livingston. Pair it with a mango cart. Great beer. Shrimp Po' Boy, Martin's in Livingston. Or pair it with a Dr. Pepper. Maybe you don't need a beer at lunch. Or maybe you do. SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. The official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. Big 12 Media Day starts tomorrow. You ready? Kenny Dillingham with Arizona State. Isn't that weird? Arizona State's in the Big 12. I think we're still getting used to that. But they had a hell of a year last year. They were picked last, and they went to the college football playoff and lost in what, double overtime to Texas?
Yeah.
God, that was a game, wasn't it?
Crazy.
Give Kenny Dillingham credit and his staff. They found the players, put it together, had a terrible first season, 2-10. Come back, I think they dropped an 11-3.
Yeah. I mean, what?
And what was it, 39-31? Double OT game against Sark and the Texas Longhorns. So
They had no business being there at all.
Man,
it was OT, double OT, right?
Double OT?
39-31.
That was a hell of a football game.
It was.
It was. Kind of makes you go,
Love it with it.
right when you want to buy into Sark.
Right.
You see something like that because, Arizona State was a good story. They were not, they were not physically imposing. They should not be better physically than Mississippi State week 2. But man, they played Texas's bells off.
I mean, rushing yards Texas had that game.
How many?
53.
Hey.
I mean, stopping them up front. They'd have a lot of yards receiving.
Now, Scattaboo is gone for Arizona State, but Sam Levitt, the wide receiver, the edge rusher, I think they're bringing back, I think 72 or 73% of their production on the team.
Okay.
Give or take. Now, it's also who you lose. And Scattaboo ended up being, I don't know, like a 4th-round pick maybe for the New York Giants. He joins Jackson Dart. Dart was a 1st-round pick. But can Arizona State bottle it again and be really good? Maybe Kenny Dillingham has figured this thing out. The Big 12 is interesting. Texas Tech is spending a fortune in the portal. We've talked about that. Those 2 guys that played for Mike Leach have done really well, and they both and then they went out and got other buddies and Old Gas Energy and whatever, but they went all in on the portal. And then we'll see what some of the other teams do. BYU,
Did they lose their quarterback?
BYU?
Yeah.
Did they?
I think so. Let me triple double check that, but I believe he
Where'd he go to, like Miami?
Well, no, I believe he's in the portal.
Carson Beck went to Miami. That may not work out for Cristobal
he broke
in
up
Miami
with his girlfriend.
because they had Cam Ward, who was actually good.
Wow. Okay. Their quarterback missed the deadline to transfer. However, he is still transferring. He missed the portal deadline, but he can still transfer.
So there is no deadline. I don't understand. Tell me what you're talking
I have
about.
no idea.
Is that just because nobody wants to get sued and basically anybody can do anything?
Right? I mean, how long does that give you to? I mean, how long do you have that though? How long does that clause pretty much hold up?
And, I really wonder if the deadline matters or if a kid just like, I want to transfer and who's going to stop me? Right. And if it gets to court,
let's go.
What is that judge going to say?
Right.
Does anybody want to do it? I get the sense right now, the temperature in the room in the country, nobody wants to do that because they've already got all these other, court cases when it comes to collegiate athletics and what our next model or iteration is going to look like. The Out of Bounds Show, 1059 The Zone ESPN. If you're looking for a zero-turn lawnmower, go to Hartley Equipment in Gluckstadt, Church Road. Zero-turn X-Mark. Yes. Zero-turn Skag. Yes. Zero-turn Bad Boy Mower. Hartley Equipment in Gluckstadt. What do you have?
He was the reason he's actually having to transfer out is because there was a lawsuit filed against him for some kind of sexual battery type deal. However,
God,
it was
that sounds
dismissed
awful.
and ran back. However, during the course of all of that, he had to admit that he had consensual relations with someone, which is
So he broke the code.
BYU code.
The code. I read about. I'm sorry. Yeah. He broke the code.
So that
But then that probably allows him to go do what he wants.
right, I think
Okay.
yeah. Odd.
I just don't think a courtroom is ready to tell a kid
No.
that he can't go somewhere. I don't even know really if the restrictions or the portal windows are going to hold up. But I'd have to ask like Charlie Winfield or Walker Jones.
There's too many of them, right? Like, isn't there another window that opened? Don't like open today? There's a transfer window that opened.
Yeah, but don't forget you can't go in conference. So
yes, you
that's
gotta-
over. So
okay,
if you're at
yeah.
Auburn, you can't go to Georgia.
Yeah.
If you're at Florida, you can't go to Ole Miss.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right.
you
You
gotta
can
sit,
you
right,
can
yeah.
keep moving in July and August.
Gotcha.
But if Kiffin wants somebody, he's got to go get somebody from either the G5 or the Big 12 or something like that.
They can start
the
immediately,
ACC.
though, right? Like they don't have to sit out.
No,
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
no, that's all over.
But it's well, unless you go train, unless you're conference, unless you. I mean, if I,
Oh yeah, I guess if you just were
you have-
determined,
right? You sit out.
I don't see that. I don't
Nah.
envision that happening. But I guess we will have a few cases.
Surely.
But a kid wakes up at Auburn and says, "I want to go to Florida and I'll sit out," but I find that hard to. I just think for the last window, you're going to have people go
out. Yeah.
out
Or
of a
up.
conference,
Yeah.
or up or down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Because they can transfer down G5.
absolutely.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Auburn's ranked 86th in college football recruiting. They're just behind Texas State, Tulsa, and Idaho.
Powerhouses.
Yeah. Let me give you an idea of where Ole Miss is. They don't have many players committed, so there's nothing to freak out about here.
Right.
They're 37th. They have 12 commitments. 6 3-star, 6 4-star.
Okay. Ain't bad.
Mississippi State's 31st. But they have 25 commitments.
Dang.
23 3-stars, 1 4-star. Tell you what surprised me here when I was looking at first of all, give Pittman and Arkansas credit. He's always going to be around 22, 23, 24.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're there.
Mr. Consistent.
Couple things. Brett Bielema at Illinois is 21st. It's in Champaign, Illinois. Of course, he's won a little bit now.
Sure.
I mean, he's going on. Hell, when I flew down after Mike Leach passed away to go to the Outback Bowl, Illinois was in it. And that was 3 seasons ago.
Right.
I think you should keep an eye. Jackson, will you look up what the Syracuse's coach name is? He was Kirby Smart's assistant. So he knows how to get out in recruiting. They're ranked 20th.
Fran Brown?
I think
Or
that's
Dino
right.
Babers?
No, Babers got fired. It's
okay.
Brown. Brown was at Georgia under Smart.
Yes.
Belichick's 18th. Now, he's got a ton of players committed, 30.
I mean, darn.
So you got to kind of weigh. You got some teams that are high up, but they don't have many commitments, which means they've done really well. You've got some teams that are ranked in the top 30 that have 25 commits, or like North Carolina, 30.
Solid.
But like James Franklin's, they're pretty much done with recruiting. I mean,
Where are they at?
he's 14th.
Okay.
He's got 25 commits.
That's plenty.
12 3-star, 12 4-star.
Oh, he's done.
I think they're pretty done. I mean, they may take another one or two, but number 1, Lincoln Riley is getting after it at Southern Cal. He has 24 stars committed. 20.
Dang.
So he finally got to his boosters, and they have 10 3-stars, 24 stars, and a 5-star out at Southern Cal, who, don't forget, is in the Big Ten.
Right. Whoa, yeah. Ugh.
I
Odd.
always have Pac-12, or even when I was growing up, Pac-8, then Pac-10, then Pac-12. Now we got the Pac-12 back together. Texas State just joined the Pac-12. I know that gets y'all all excited. Georgia's too. That doesn't surprise. I mean, Kirby's always going to be around there. I tell you who's getting it done, though, is Mike Elko at A&M.
Where's he at?
Number 3.
Hot dog.
You know, Jimbo already proved that he could knock down the number 1 class or a top 5 class at A&M.
That's right.
Elko has 24 stars committed, along with the 5-star and 3
Wow.
3-stars.
Mm.
I tell you who else is crushing it. And I think the portal is going to play into Notre Dame's favor.
Ugh.
Marcus Freeman went to the college football playoff last year and played for the national championship.
Yes.
Notre Dame's ranked 4th.
Wow.
See, they're always going to recruit well coming out of high school. They're Notre Dame. It's crazy. It's still crazy to me, but I get it. Big brand. I mean, God help them. They're in Indiana, whatever. But they are number 4. They have 4 3-stars, 21 4-stars.
Wow.
Freeman's number 4. They're pretty much either done or they'll take 1 or 2 more. And then Bama's 5th, which shouldn't surprise any. Ohio State 6th. Same teams.
Yeah.
But Southern Cal's back in the driver's seat, high school recruiting wise,
Okay.
which is huge for Lincoln Riley because everybody's kind of wondering if this is going to work.
Yes.
Kirby, that doesn't surprise me. Elko, getting it done. Notre Dame, 4. And I think the portal is going to, for years I said Notre Dame will never win it again. That's not. So in that, you know, we have a new iteration, right? But in that window of 30 years, Notre Dame wasn't going to win it.
Right.
Now, because of what they can sell academically and just being Notre Dame, and Freeman is, I think, unbelievable. He's got so much charisma. He's good looking. He's smart, good coach. Notre Dame can now win the national championship. Whereas when we went through that run of Pete Carroll and Southern Cal, or even coming out of Miami in 01 with Coker, but Pete Carroll and Southern Cal, right? And then we went into Urban Meyer in Florida.
Right. Ohio State.
And of course, Saban got his at LSU but left, and then Miles and all right, all that's going on. Saban comes back to Bama, boom, and then Kirby getting his 2. Notre Dame couldn't win it during that time.
Okay.
They haven't won one since 1988. Lou Holtz. When the rumors are that he convinced the administration, or maybe did it kind of on the down low, but
Blue?
they were able to take some Prop 48s back then, I guess, or, you know, guys who were fringe or real iffy maybe academically.
Nice.
But Freeman, they got it now. They're going to spend money. They've got alums who want to win. They didn't like doing the legal way, but I mean, they did. They didn't do it like Bama or Auburn or LSU or Georgia. But I think the new way, Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame, they can win it.
Yeah, they like that. If it's semi-legal, they're
quarterbacks want to go there.
in. Yeah.
Offensive linemen, they're just going to get players.
Why? Who wants to go there?
Freeze your tail off.
Are the women?
But-
is there an appeal
No.
there? I didn't think
But-
so.
I mean, yes, I'm sure there's some that are good looking, but you know what I mean.
Not
I mean, it's not Auburn on a Saturday night.
negative.
Marcus Freeman, first of all, kudos to them. Brian Kelly leaves. Freeman's
Up.
just played for the national title against Ohio State. So they're ranked 4th. Who else is? Dabo's doing his thing. Keep an eye on them. We thought they're going away.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if they're back. I say back. I don't mean playing for 4 national championships and 6-7 years. But I'm talking about coming back and maybe making a run. Cristobal's not going to stop recruiting. I mean, they only have 20 commits, and they're 8th. I mean, that guy is a big game hunter animal. Probably the best recruiter in college football.
Really?
Actually, you know what I would look at Mario Cristobal at Miami, played there, now coach there. Marcus Freeman and Kirby Smart.
Best 3, top 3. Is that a certain
I mean,
order?
there you can do a bunch of 1As.
Right, sure.
Because there's very, very talented dudes around the country. Oh, I can't. Let me throw in another guy, even if you want to go 1A. Dan Lanning at Oregon.
That's a
now,
good one.
Bartu even argues, and Bartu's an Oregon Duck alum. Bartu even argues all he's doing is money whipping people.
Yeah.
He says, when you got the biggest bag of cash in the world, does that mean you're the best? I mean, we could run the numbers either way. Does that mean you're the best recruiter? Or you're just money whipping people and you're able to get players? But fans don't care at the end of the day. They just want to have good players on Saturday because what's fun? Winning.
So,
Popcorn, Dr. Pepper, winning. Okay, we're in.
you got Sark up there yet?
Sark's a hell of a recruiter. They're just fine. They're at 13 with only 7 ranked 13th with only 17 commits. So they're the type of program that can land like one more guy and jump up 5 spots, 6 spots. Tennessee and Florida are right there. I tell you, who's getting it done. And obviously, they're loading the boat with money. And we talked about this. This is going to be one of the new teams, I think. We've known about them forever, but they have a chance to join the party because of the conference they play in and how much freaking money they have. SMU. Rhett Lashley. They're ranked 17th.
Wow.
They have only 20 commits. They're going to get they decided that they waived their media rights fees for 7 to 9 years and just said, we'll take care of it. We'll go find 50 guys to give us $5 million apiece. We'll have that quarter of a bill, and we're going to go win. And look what they did last year. They had a hell of a year. A lot of it's because we had Casey Woods on he joined us live from Dallas when I was at SEC Media Days, and then they had a great year.
What do you know?
Sparky Woods' son, who was the former offensive coordinator at Mississippi State and head coach at South Carolina.
Love that name.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that kind of jump out at me as far as recruiting.
If Elko does this again, though,
dude,
if he's
A&M, they fell apart at the end last year. Yeah, and you could tell he was mad because they couldn't cover me in the secondary, which is weird because he is a hell of a Bartu had him top 5 defensive coordinator. He saved Jimbo Fisher. Then he went to Duke, somehow won games, and then he parlayed it after Bjork tried to hire Mark Stoops. The alums cut him off. They went and got Elko.
I love that.
And boom.
That's so awesome.
You remember that planes flying to A&M. They got Mark Stoops is sitting there going, man, I'm going to get into bluegrass money's good, no doubt.
Right.
Horse money, bourbon country, that's real. That's FU money up there.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're at A&M or Texas, that's FFU
that's right.
money. And he was sitting there dancing on the plane, and then all of a sudden the pilots started turning around, and he thought, what's going on? And they flew him right back into Lexington Airport, which I've flown into several times.
So awesome.
Maybe my favorite airport in the country because it's small and nice. All right, so that's damn. We just did a recruiting update.
Heater.
Marcus Freeman. Notre Dame's back.
No.
Notre Dame is back.
Yeah, they never left.
Oh, they did.
They left bad.
No, Brian Kelly did a good job.
He did.
Prior to that, when they went through the whole Bob Davie, Willingham, Charlie Weiss thing, they just threw up all over themselves. They tripped over, they're just left and right. Well, they just drank too much Fireball
How
every
did
night.
Charlie Weiss keep getting jobs?
Charlie Weiss got a $20 million. He was the first one to get a massive guaranteed contract and got bought out at like $20 million.
Yeah, and he just chilled.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him on the Patriots. He was on the sidelines everywhere, though.
His son's at Ole Miss under Kiffin.
Is he?
Yeah.
Does he wear
He's
that huge...
OC in title, but Lane Kiffin is the offensive coordinator
he wear
and
that-
has been the whole time he's been there at Ole Miss.
That tragic hoodie he used to wear. The little
Yeah.
half-cut hoodie.
Yeah. He tried to be Belichick, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he was thick boy.
Oh,
Big old boy.
Weiss is hammered some meat and gravy.
You think
I
he
mean, meat
pushed?
and taters.
I think. I'm gonna bet money he pushed 350.
You think he was that big?
I do. I know he was the. He has been a coach. His
But
whole-
he made a fortune.
Wow, a
Like Gus
fortune.
Malzahn got bought out
right.
from Auburn. He made a
Who
fortune.
bought him? Kansas buy him out? Was that it? Yeah.
Yeah, then he went to Kansas, got bought out again.
Yeah.
Man, he pulled a Muschamp. Muschamp got bought out by Florida and South Carolina.
Oh boy, Will.
So he just hangs out with Kirby as an analyst every morning and checks his brokerage account and laughs. He's like, can you believe they paid me $40 million at Florida and
like what?
South Carolina?
Like, what were you doing?
I know.
I wonder what he would.
I wonder
what he
if
does
Will
with
gets
money.
one more shot. Because he is a hell of a salesman. And he's going to tell you, I coached for Nick Saban
Yeah.
or under Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And athletic directors are not hard to fool. So I wonder if Will Muschamp gets one more shot, or if he's
Should.
like,
Look at all these.
does
other
he have?
cats.
I don't know, man. Will runs hot. He's like Eddie O type
Oh yeah.
energy, and so I don't. Even though he's mega rich, is he done at 50? Does he want to just be an analyst and kind of hang out, or is he going to go for one more run? Matt Luke, who didn't get that much, but still got like $15 million from Ole Miss.
Right.
Luke is the offensive line coach and co-offensive coordinator at Clemson. And let me tell you, Matt Luke is a hell of an offensive line
Absolutely.
coach. He's not a head coach, power forward wise, but he recruits. I mean, he ran circles around Joe Moorhead. I mean, that was unfair. What Jacob Peeler, Matt Luke, and Derek Nix did to Joe Moorhead's staff, like Alabama playing a junior high football team.
Joe Moorhead, Charlie Weiss, same person.
Wow. All right, we're live at the Bank Plus studio. Lunch today brought to you by Fleetway Market and the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt. They got blue plates, baby. Blue plates. Fleetway Market, Market Cafe in Gluckstadt. Thanks for listening to the Out of Bounds show on 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We'll see you tomorrow.